Welcome to Portfolio Builders Club. Happy New Year. It's 2024. Looking forward to an exciting year. Looking forward to the market to continue to take off. Right now, we're experiencing a little bit of a pullback starting out the year, but generally, when there's no reason for the pullback per se, generally it just recovers in a few weeks. So we'll just see what happens. But here we are looking at Apple. Apple is down about 4%. 3.5%, I guess it would say here. So the next few days, I would expect that to recover. Just starting out the year, people getting into the market, getting settled in. So we expect that to recover. Of course, we've been up quite a bit for Apple so far. So, not expecting as much movement as other stocks, but it should still continue in a positive direction. Amazon, same thing. Looking for this 28% move. May come back and touch this zone here and then push off of the moving average as well. We'll see what happens. Berkshire Hathaway, still looking good. GBTC, so this is Bitcoin related stock. So we're going to continue to watch this. We were looking at this, it finished this 50% move. We're trying to say about this 85% move, kind of back to all-time highs here. But we could experience some sort of pullbacks before we get there, but ultimately, with time, again, this is a daily chart, so we'd expect it to continue on. Google, looking good, moving up, still trending up. We have JP Morgan still trending up for that 25%. Mara had a major pullback, but still on the positive side of things, we're above the 200-day moving average, above the 50-day moving average. The price has moved all the way up, over 100%. So at this point, we expect somewhat of a pullback, maybe back down to this key zone level and then take off again. But we have to watch and see. Meta. So Meta just continues to trend upward. Microsoft, same thing. It's sort of hovering right now, but the trend is really up and the direction is up. Netflix, here we almost completed filling this gap here, so we expect really just a turnaround and a push back up toward filling that gap. So we have to wait and see. NVIDIA, because of this large gap that's here between 320 and 360, we're expecting something to push that down. I don't know if that's going to end up being some sort of news event or just what to push NVIDIA back down into this zone here. So that's the direction we're expecting for NVIDIA. Tesla did break above our trend line here. It is above the 200-day and the 50-day moving average. So we'd expect some upward movement, but we'll have to watch this to see if it's going to bounce here or not. Taiwan Semiconductor, still looking positive, looking for this 25% move. Jumping into a firm, we were looking at completing this 192, 200, almost 200% move here. It looks like it may pull back before continuing on. AI is just barely breaking out here, so we have to kind of watch this. Looks like it should break out to the upside and shoot up. I'm looking at 100 to 133% move here, so we'll see what happens there. AMD has finished a 25% move. It's starting to pull back here. We expect for AMD to again get a nice pullback, maybe similar to NVIDIA, and then maybe take off after that. But we expect a pretty major pullback here. Crocs is below the 200-day moving average, below the 50-day moving average at this point. So the bias would actually be down. We'd like to see it recover and fill this gap right here and then continue on. But we'll have to kind of watch until the bias changes again. Carvana is looking good. It's moving up above the 50 and the 200-day moving average. It looks like it's just pulling back. Maybe we'll bounce off of that and continue on for this 100% move. So we'd be looking for a second entry on that. And the way to determine when the entry would be appropriate is we'll draw a trend line here. If it breaks that trend line, then that would be the time to sort of jump in and see if we can make this 100% move for Carvana. We have DraftKings, same thing here. Let's go ahead and draw a line. For DraftKings, we had a pretty major pullback going right now. Let's give it a little bit of space there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens if it breaks above this line I just entered. DocuSign, same thing. because of the pullback, we need to now look for the trend line break. Let's see. Yeah, look for a trend line break somewhere. I mean, it could pull all the way back down to here before pushing back up, but the idea is we'd be looking for a break of a trend line. We can extend the trend line if we need to. Etsy, same thing, completed 15%, sort of pulling back now, expecting a bounce off of the 50-day moving average and then just a continuation to the top. And we could also draw here a trend line to break as well. Ford is above the 200-day moving average out of the water here, moving up. Everything's really looking positive to go ahead and try to get this 25%. GM, same thing, still looking positive. Moving average is moving up above the 200-day moving average, so we'd expect this, even if it pulls back some more, to eventually push off. Lyft, same thing, should come down, push off. PayPal, looks like this is really ready to go ahead and start moving at this point, but we'll have to wait and see on PayPal. Make sure it doesn't break this trend line as well. Roblox is just pulling back a bit, but still positive. Everything's looking good there. Shopify. So Shopify, we're above the 200-day moving average, above the 50-day moving average, and moving upwards. So we just expecting the bounces here and continue on. So Snap, same thing. All these charts are kind of looking very similar at this point. We could draw a trend line in here somewhere. We don't have really good points, but we'll just draw something as a reference for now. So we'd be looking for a break of that trend line. If it breaks, then we'd expect it to continue on. But everything's still looking positive. SoFi. With SoFi, again, another pullback. And then we'll look for that to kind of push off. Let's just give it some room to work there. And we may have to adjust that trend line. But the idea is, if it breaks this trend line, we're going to continue up. All right, we're going to look at Square. Our block. Same thing, it had this drop or pullback, but it should continue. Maybe it'll drop down a little bit more, but it should continue ultimately. Twilio, so this is what 100% move we're looking at. And that's a gap way up here as well, so probably should eventually start to pull to the upside there, but we're looking good. We're out of the water. We're above the 50-day moving average. We are bouncing now, so the question is, will it bounce here and go ahead and continue up, and that will begin that particular push. Next up, we have Upstart, and with Upstart, we are pulling back again here and looking for the push for this 100% move. So we'll watch that one. And let's jump into some of the Bitcoin related stocks. So we have Argo Blockchain that's been pushing up. We'll just kind of look at these briefly. All these should be kind of moving with Bitcoin moving up. We completed, 100% move on Bitfarm. Bitso is another one to watch. Backed. Looking for a 200% opportunity here. It looks like it's just getting started into that. BT dropping back down. Looks like a second chance on a 100% move. It may drop down even further. Then we have Cypher. Same thing. Drop down currently. Looking for this 100% move to complete. You have Coinbase. It's dropping down right now. Would expect same thing for that to continue to the upside eventually. Hive, same thing. Expect that to continue to the upside as well. Hood, same thing. Expect this to continue to the upside eventually. Let's see what else we have. We have Hut, same thing. Should bounce once it gets here and go ahead on up. We have MicroStrategies, and we have Riot, and we have TerraWolf. So all these are doing really well overall. We just have to kind of monitor them to make sure that they don't sink below the 200-day moving average again without some sort of bounce. So that's kind of where we are. I just wanted to run through, give a market update. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And if you care to, definitely like and subscribe. Thanks.